Alright folks, welcome to another league. We just played a league with Boomer Shadow, and now it's time for Sumer Shadow. Those are the terms that the kids are using today. So this version of Shadow plays Lurus. We have a couple of copies of Dreadhorde Arcanist and 4 copies of Sprite Dragon. We are of course playing Shadow. We have these members, and we have a baffling 28 1-drops. We have one Mutagenic Growth heading down here. We have a bunch of discard spells in Thought Seizes and Inquisitions. We have Stubbities, Sleight of Hands, Opt, Unearth, and Lightning Bolts. All of these, of course, because we can get it back with Arcanist. Apostle's Blessing, just as a one-off. Not, I assume against removal? Question mark. And 1 TBR in the main deck. Then we also have the Bubbles and 18 lands. When we move on to the sideboard, we have Apostle's Blessing, couple of Eldergast, couple of Mana Leaks, 2 pushes, 3 Cleansing Wildfire, 1 TBR, the second one against all the combo decks and stuff, and 3 Nihil Spellbombs, which combo pretty nicely with Lurus. So let's see how this version goes. Boomer Shadow did perform. I would even say that Boomer Shadow overperformed to an extent. But of course, if you're watching on YouTube, you can check out that VOD on this very channel. So if you want to see me completely dominate with Grixis Shadow from 2016 or 17 or whenever that list I play this is from, you can check that out on the stream. On the channel, sorry, the YouTube channel. I think my opponents just saw how dominating my Shadow performance was, and they're like, yep, I don't want to face the Shadow threat. Lurus. Shadow Cat. Cat Shadow? I'm probably gonna call the deck Sumer Shadow, but if we had to, you know, have a clickbaity name for this, how would we name this deck? Cat Dragon? Death Cat? Shadow Cat? Sounds perfect. Got a cantrip, bolt, threat, boggles. Oh, Champion of the Parish. It's a lot less scary. I'm probably gonna have to bolt this, so might be kind of tough to, depending on what my opponent does here. Blue and green. Oh, please be a Phantasmal Image. Oh, please play a Phantasmal Image. Oh, please play a Phantasmal Image. Too bad. So I guess we're gonna get a Steam Vent here. And we're gonna have to kill this guy, so let's get it while the getting's good. Let's move on with our life. This dude is eventually gonna grow a lot, so I guess I kind of want to have some control over my... Ugh, that's bad. So let's play a Sprite Dragon off of this basic. Obviously, I'm not going to be blocking, so I'm going to be attacking, but it is a little bit problematic that we have no black mana in play right now. So we're gonna be taking 6 damage from this dismember. Reflector Mage is just absolutely disgusting. That sucks. I feel like we're gonna have to kill this guy. So I guess I'm gonna take this chance to play this Blood Grip tapped. Oh yeah, perfect draw. Perfect draw. So we're gonna take 4 from the Dismember plus 2 from the Reflector Mage. Meddling Mage. There's no way they named Dismember, right? Literally no way they named Dismember. It's pretty obvious, I guess. Do I have to Dismember this? It feels like I'll have to. Feels like I have to eventually, so... We can't cast Sprite Dragon. We can cast that one. Yep. I'm not shocking there because it's very, like, my opponent could very easily have another Reflector Mage here. And then we kind of get very, very owned. So shocking there seems a little bit greedy. If this is a Phantasmal Image, I guess I bolt the Reflector Mage in response. This means that my opponent can't attack. They can copy my shadow, which would make things interesting. But that means that we can cast Lurrus. So any removal spell kills this shadow. Pretty unfortunate that we didn't find any... well, I mean, we drew 6 lands, right? That's not good for us. That is pretty good, though. Just like that? Okay. Oh, do they have Dismember? There's no way they're playing main deck Dismember, right? Yeah, okay, I thought so. Opponent thinking they can get me. Bluffing Dismember. Nonsense. I mean, if they were thinking about chump blocking, I don't understand why they copy the shadow instead of copying the Meddling Mage. Cycling is good for us. Cycling is very good for us. If they had Dismember, they would have used it to win combat. Yep, that also makes a lot of sense. But I'm thinking about whether to attack or not. I think am I pushing this? No, I don't think I'm pushing this. I guess let's see what my opponent plays here. Another Phantasmal Image. Probably gonna name Lurrus here. Yep. Not bad. Not bad at all. And if we untap with these Arcanus, that's just GG, right? My opponent is playing very scared. They are playing very, very scared. Which is obviously great for us. At this point, I think we have this locked up, if I'm not mistaken. Just Dreadhorde just completely destroys their board. Yep. Opponent doesn't want to play anymore. Well, pushes sound great. Sour Nails suck. I guess Apostle's Blessing and TBR? Like, these cards are obviously heinous, but like, so is Thoughtseize. This is removal. Yeah, I mean, I guess we're going with this. I'd rather have the combat trick than I'd have the Stubborn Denial or the Thoughtseize, so. Particularly on the draw. The combat trick can potentially help me. Oh, there's the combat trick. All you got here after you realize that you were asleep? Wow. Keep. 62 cards. Interesting strategy. So this is something that happened. I didn't notice that game one, but there was a player that top 8'd, I think, the challenge this past weekend, and they did so with 64 cards in their main deck. 64 cards in their main deck, and yeah, I guess people have been copying and pasting their list. Which is pretty funny. I think we Arcanist, right? Why did I opt? I don't even know why I opted there. Didn't make too much sense. It was 64-11. Yeah, it was 64-11. Still some method to that madness. Yeah, I guess like they just misclicked and they submitted. I don't know. They switched their cards from their main deck to their sideboard or whatever. I think I'm playing Arcanist here because if I untap, and I just don't block, because if I untap with Arcanist, we just wipe their board. I just pay 2 mana to push the Mariner, and then I kill the other guy as well, and then we get to drop a shadow in the process, which seems pretty solid. So I think I'm not supposed to... Okay, now I'm gonna block, obviously. I was going to be playing around Thalia's Lieutenant, but now that I know that they don't have it... Please don't name push, 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 don't name push. What you got for me, opponent? Don't do it. Don't do it. No push, no push, no push, no push. No push, no push, no push, no push. No push, no push. Bingo. It messes up my shadow line, but it means that we can do some good stuff with this Arcanist. Oof. Sicko. So I think I bolt this guy, and then I swing and I push the other one. Opponent confirmed not stream sniping. Yeah, for sure. My opponent is certainly not stream sniping. We figured that out. Okay, what is this? Reflector Mage is fine at this point. Oh. That's not so fine. Yikes. We're gonna have to kill this, so blue, red, Sprite Dragon. Attack. Get back Lightning Bolt. We do have a surprise block on this Meddling Mage, so that's cool. So if my opponent gets a little bit frisky, what is this? Don't have another Mantis Rider, come on. Okay, that might somehow be worse. Well, this is lethal, so... Protection from white. Them top taking Lord here's brutal. Can we find out another bolt? Ugh. Whiff! Draw a land. Draw a land. Draw a land. That doesn't cycle. Don't draw something good. Not something good. Not something good. Not something good. That's meh, I guess. That's meh. Do I have to fetch for a tapped land? Wait, what? 0 cards in hand? I'm not missing anything? This is just an amazing, incredible block for us. We get to play our shadow. wow. Putting kind of throwing over there. Okay, I'm gonna fetch here now. For a Blood Crypt. Let's do Steam Vents. Pass the turn. I don't want to lose to a Reflector Mage. We are dead to Mantis Rider. We are dead to Mantis Rider off the top. But my opponent has to whiff at this point, right? Like, they drew only 2 lands. You have to draw more lands, opponent. Just draw some lands. Okay, sweet. Well, that's a blank. That is an actual blank. I think I have to attack with the Shadow. I feel like I have to start trying to close the door here, because the longer the game goes, I don't think it necessarily favors me. Reflector Mage and we're dead. Kudro. We're not dead to Kudro. We're not dead to Kudro. Come on, opponent, just whiff, okay? Just one time. Just one time, just whiff. Just whiff. No, but like whiff, I mean. No! No! Spells are bad. Don't play spells. Oriok Champion. Oh, that's messed up. There go my dragons. Protection from what? Protection from this and protection from this? Alright. Bolt off the top. Bolt. Swing. TBR? They Kudro costs 2 mana. Oh wow. Masterfully brought the second copy of Temur Battle Rage so I can find a way out in a very, very dire spot. Easy. Good stuff, good stuff. Damn shadow players, I know. Filthy shadow players. Gross. No lander, love it. One lander. Yeah, okay, I actually like this. Luke Greenslade 1, thank you for the follow. I think that I'm a little bit behind here, so let's actually do the bubble trick. I don't think I can afford to just do nothing for a turn. Awesome. I bottom a Bloodstained Mire, literally top deck Bloodstained Mire. There's only 3 in my deck, love to see it. No second lands. That was your humans opponent last round. We'll play. Yeah, look, GG's. There was one attack that we were wondering, interesting. I'm definitely stopping this, by the way, right? Opponent clearly missing land drops, and we get to double trigger these dudes. Also, now we know that there are miracles, and gonna put this in my hand. Now we know that there are miracles, and they don't have a white source, so they can't, even if they find the Terminus, they can't miracle it, so. I don't think that's even that aggressive. Honestly, it just feels correct. Oh. Fatal push. Okay. Here's a Lurus. Here's a bubble. Here's a trigger. Is my opponent playing something like a mentor deck, maybe? They may be playing a mentor deck. They're playing Cryptic Command in their Mystic Sanctuary Godless Shrine deck, of course. What was I even thinking? Of course they're playing Cryptic Command. So... Get back Sprite Dragon. Then we're gonna replay Bubble. And then we're gonna Bold Face, and that's lethal. Boom. So my opponent's playing Esper. I don't even know what. That's how I would describe my opponent's deck. This Esper, I have no idea. Feels like Apostle's Blessing is going to be interesting. I probably don't want TBR. Stubborn L seems okay. They did have push. So I guess I'm keeping Indian Earths. I'm gonna side out one push because I'm believing in the dismembers. Again, I need more information before I can actually make a good plan against them. Only been playing the deck 2 days. Oh, nice. You're new to Modern, look, or have you been playing Modern for a while, but you're just picking up Humans? Humans seems very, very well positioned right now. It seems very, very well positioned in my opinion. But yeah, you're gonna be able to check out the VODs on YouTube. They're gonna be going up tomorrow. So if you want to check them out, you're gonna be able to find them there. Usually play John, but it doesn't seem good right now. Oh yeah, John is not good. People have been messing around with the Valky guy, but I don't know if that actually just fixes John. It seems very unlikely to me that that will fix John. Sure. I didn't come here to not gamble, right? Just seems like it can't ever be Titan. Yeah, I mean, Titan is just very, very bad right now, though. Land, please? No land. I am going to get a Water Gate, and I think I'm just going to Inquisition here on turn 1. I feel like I need to know a little bit more about my... Scratch, 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 scratch. They shocked too? Are they playing Shadow with Mystic Sanctuary? There's no way they're playing Shadow, right? Land? Now we are in this situation that my opponent was in last game. The good thing is that their hand has nothing going on. Also, they have the wrong opt art. They did put a card on top, though. Field of Ruin. Land. We do have one basic swamp. I think I'm stubbing this. Yeah, right? Like, my opponent's hand is shit, and it's gonna be a long time before this becomes even active, so I want to keep things the way that they are. It's a little bit aggressive, definitely, but I think it's reasonable. Also, my opponent doesn't know that I'm playing Shadow, so... Hello? Hello. Hand has been super awkward. My hand has been so awkward. Ballsy attack. That's a ballsy attack right there. That's what that is. Three mana, 4 mana. Cryptic topple creatures, you got it. Well. I could have put lures into my hand, but I think like my opponent's gonna do the cryptic thing, so... If I had a bubble in my graveyard, I would have considered doing the lures thing, not doing the lures thing there, but... Push my dude. Okay. This is not a good plan, opponent. People really overvalue the cryptic lock, I think. Like, now they're on chomp mode. Path. Okay. Do you have another cryptic? Like, we know one of their cards is just dead. Is this another cryptic? Got me. Sure. See what they're drawing. They're drawing Archmage's Charm. Well, that sucks. I'm trying to bluff here. I don't know what I'm bluffing, but maybe that's just a bad attack, because if I find stubborn, then yeah, I guess that was just a bad attack, because if I find stub ED exactly here, we didn't, but okay. That was a really weird game, but that's fine. Like that gives me a lot more information now for game number 3. Like I probably don't want pushes, for example. Like I definitely want to keep on the bolts, but I think I don't want pushes. I definitely don't want TBRs. And I guess I don't want spell bombs. But I don't want Virginia growth either, so. My opponent's playing a very weird deck. Seems like Esper Tempo or something? Spell was better than Magician. Yeah, that's the conclusion that I arrived at. I think I want everything else. My opponent has like pushes and stuff. So Unearth makes sense to get back to Lurus, and they also have counter magic too. Sure, let's keep this. It's a bolt on top. I think I don't want that. It's steam vents. Oh, there's a spell bomb. One can have a push, they can have a path to exile. Could even have spell snare here. Looks like push. That sounds fine. This build is very different. This actually is a lot heavier on the red. We played a Grixis Shadow right before this league, but this seems a lot different. They don't seem to have a great Stubborn L deck, I don't think. It's gonna be up on YouTube, so. Kind of want to find a land here. Arcanus is pretty nice though. I should have left black, by the way. That was just a misclick. Thoughtseize is sick. Yeah, easiest 5-0 of my life. Wow. Oh, that's a hand. I think I'm taking the Kaya's Guile here. Because like all of them are 2-for-1s, but like the Snapcasters are kind of awkward. And we can stop the Snapcasters. In fact, do I stop the Snapcaster? Like if my opponent here EOT, they flash in a Snapcaster for opt. Kind of feel like I would just crack an Eye Spell. I guess that we could just bolt it. No, I guess I actually do want to find my land drop, so... this means that if they have a land, we get blown out. But, okay, we did find our land. But if they don't find a land, we get to stop their Jace, and it's not particularly likely for them to play around the Stubborn Denial. Hey, Angry Sunder, how's it going? Just using my mana here. But I can gust this if they want, I guess. Them not hitting land drops is obviously great for me. I kind of want to just slam these lures here. Like, my opponent doesn't have an answer. They're even tapping out. Counter target spell, return target permanent. You got me? We're drawing Kaya, Orso, Usurper. Kind of sucks. For us, I mean. They can slam Jace here. This seems very good for us. We have another Bolt. Like, what are they doing here? Are they just minusing on the Lurus? And then we just trade for a Bolt? And then we just play a Lurus again and we draw another card? They plus on themselves. They put a card on the bottom. Please attack. Not the worst draw. So if I play Sprite Dragon here, and then with Thoughtseize, that doesn't do it. So let's Thoughtseize them. Get the push. Yeah, push is the most mana efficient one. We get the push, then we play a shadow. And then we play a bubble. And now we're holding up Stubby D. They're drawing Field of Ruin. That's terrible for us. And they know we don't have any more basics. Like, we really need to find lands here. Okay, there we go. Just ask and you shall receive, I guess. They brainstorm. Celestial Purge Lurus. Lurus seems better than Shadow, so I'm just gonna Stubborn Denial this. They blow me out if they have an answer to the Shadow here. But it couldn't be the Snapcaster because they would have to like Snapcaster and push. So then even if the Stubby D is just a Force Spike, that's enough to counter it because they already made a land drop. How good is Kaya right now in Modern Cyborgs? I don't know. I probably not incredible. Just kind of okay. Like it's good against the Hammer deck. It's good against Shadow. And each opponent sacrifices the creatures and exile all cards from the graveyard. That one's really good. That one's really good. But I think we're gonna take the Shadow anyway because we have Thoughtseize. So now we clear that. We Thoughtseize you. Stick the Kaya. Oh, I fucked up. I had to leave one of my basics up. Oh shit, I really fucked this up. If my opponent gets me here, that's gonna be very sad. Damn, that was a really good Kaya's Guile. That was a really, really good Kaya's Guile. They're letting me untap. And I drew a blank. Brutal. So we leak this because we can force my opponent to just like flash in this Snapcaster for no value. That means we don't attack with the Lurus, obviously, but this effectively answers the Snapcaster in a way. Yeah. They get no value. It's not looking great. But we have some pretty good top decks. So that's my opponent. So that's the bad part. There's a good part and there's a bad part. The good part is that there's some good top decks. The bad part is that my opponent might be better. Okay. That one really sucks. Something good. Kind of. So that stops their clock. And I guess we swing for 1? We swing for 4, I mean. And my opponent has like Kaya's Guile and shit, so I'm gonna get my value here. How many Snapcasters is that? Just the 1? Well, the Lurus is gone now, so Bubble is not that good anymore. Another threat would be great though. That's not a good one. Go, Dreadhorde! Go! I guess they only have 1 Sanctuary, because they could have Sanctuary back the Cryptic. Maybe they only have the 1 Sanctuary? Yeah, that's not very good. You've got him dead on board on in 8 turns. Yeah, now 6. 5. We can do this, chat. We can do this. Okay, they do have Sanctuary. They just forgot to use it, I guess. Ugh, that Kaya's Guile is gross. Fully escalated Kaya's Guile. Oh, man, like we had... Oh, we could have drawn so many cards that would have been great. Like Mana Leak, Stubborn Denial. All of those cards would have been awesome. Oh, shit. Can we even win anymore? Sack a creature. Game 4. Shadow. Womp womp. Yeah, we just have to draw like runner bolts or something. There's a shadow on top. Do they have another Sanctuary? Please don't have another Sanctuary. Please don't have another Sanctuary. God damn it. Well, I guess that we can Thoughtseize. We can Thoughtseize before we play the Shadow, so... We're not like dead. We're just super fucking dead, but we're not like super mega ultra very much dead, you know? So it could be worse. We're looking at the right side here. Thoughtseize you. Counterbalance, maybe? Wait. The hell happened? Just not gonna complain. Just not gonna complain. Just gonna chill here. They went for draw. Okay. We have this Stubby D in hand, so my opponent's gonna need... No! That's so gross, man. That is so gross. My opponent was super greedy with the Teferi Plus. And they get rewarded because they top decked. Perfect. Counter draw. Well, there you go, my chances of winning this game. Another land is perfect. Okay. I've had enough. I'd had enough. Our deck was not kind. Our deck was not kind on that game 3. I thought we had navigated to a good spot, and then we just drew a million lands. My opponent top deck like a god. Seems like a fine hand. Let's keep it. Yeah, we were just one whiff from just winning, right? My opponent just whiffed on one of those draw steps. We just got him, and they were super greedy too. But they just drew into a Teferi. Okay, so this seems like the meme deck. I guess that I need to find the Starboard Denial. Fuck. So we're probably dead. Unless my opponent fizzles. There we go, spinning the wheel. They're gonna keep the Violent Outburst. Withdraw by decision to play Death Shadow. This. If they only have 3 T-Volts Trickery in their deck, they just fizzled. I split it like this because... Oh, did I fuck up? I think no, this is fine. Yeah, this is the spell resolving. Like, this is on the stack, but this is gonna leave the stack when the... Yeah. What a fucking joke, man. I'm so upset that this deck exists. I am just so upset that this deck exists. I guess Nihil Spellbomb prevents them from re-looping, so maybe that's better than the Unearths. Like, the Unearths are just literally not gonna matter, right? They're just 2 mana cycle. What's going on? My opponent just they could have Outburst, but they used 3 Trickeries already, so they were out of Trickeries. Loud Unearth is good because you can possibly cycle into this card. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Technically, yeah. There's only 3 Trickery. Apparently, yeah. Nephalia's Academy. This is the anti-discard spell tech. Alright, here we go. Stubby-doo. Yeah, the Throes of Chaos. Nice. And we have the Nihil Spellbomb. Am I taking this turn off to put a threat on board? I think so, right? I think I have to take this turn off because I have to get my opponent dead. So if they have another shot at the combo here, and I'm just fucked. I'm just trying to decide if the deck is busted or not. Canister says no. Where do you land? I think it's just cancer. That's the way that I would describe the deck. It's just cancer, and it really saddens me that it exists. I think that it doesn't matter at all whether it's good or not. It's just cancer for the format, and it is. We would be a lot better off without it. How good or not it is irrelevant in my opinion. I played the Spellbomb there because the Star on the Nile is gonna mean that we're gonna get to counter the thing because it's the trigger resolves first, which means that we're gonna have ferocious, however you say that. And this is what I was looking for. And Water Grave. We can go Arcanist, or we can go... I think we go Arcanist. It's just more damage next turn. So if they have 2 of the Cascade spell, we are in trouble. But if they have only 1, I think we can set up lethal next turn. Yeah, we do set up lethal next turn. So blue, red, Sprite Dragon, bolt you, triggers, swing, get back bolt, kill you. All right, there we go. Why no Scourge? Because you can't deal damage to your opponent. Scourge is really bad when your opponent is at 20 life. And it's tough to deal damage to your opponent when you're not base red and you don't have a bunch of 1-drops that attack. We have no 1-drops that attack, 0. So playing Scourge as a 0/0 is not, it's not where you want to be. That was pretty good though. That was a good showing against the nonsense combo deck, right? We did the thing. We put pressure. We counter their silly spells. That was pretty solid. That was pretty solid. Which is again what I was saying. If you're playing Modern right now, play either counter spells or discard, or in this case, both. But don't play a combo deck that doesn't have a way to interact with this deck, because you're gonna lose to it. Unless they fizzle, like they just did. Wizard Springs so much is your recommended product, I can fathom why that nonsense had to be printed in standard set. Why Sleight of Hand instead of Serum Visions? Because Sleight of Hand gives you the card right away. Okay, let's keep this. Serum Visions does not give you the card right away. You draw a random card and then you scry the rest, right? Let's get a Watery Grave with this. While Serum Visions, Sleight of Hand allows you to choose. Yeah. Well, we finally get paired against the Nightmare matchup. it was bound to happen. It was bound to happen. It was just about time that we got paired against the Uro deck. Apostle's Blessing's nice here. Isn't the most popular way to play Magic at the kitchen table? Most players who buy boosters aspire for that purpose and still love nonsense. Yeah, it's just rough as competitive players because it is at our cost, right? It is at the cost of competitive players. So we get punished if my opponent found exactly Path to Exile, but this is another thread. Yeah, sure. Just bring it. Bring it to the party. My opponent may leak this, but then we shadow. Leak resolves, play other shadow. What's up, Relic? How's it going? Not sure a lot of invested contracted player lose sight of that. Still a bizarre card though. Yeah, it is. That's probably the best way to describe it. It is just bizarre. It has some pretty not common lines of text. So they probably have path here. Stay fetched and shocked. No land? Oh wow. Is this lethal? So we dismember our own shadow, we hold priority, we give it protection from black. Dismember fizzles, we swing for lethal. We can do that while also getting more info, which is nice. So let's do that. Oh yeah, they changed the frame of the eyes. Ugh, look at that. Ugh, it's an ugly ass frame. Gross. Okay, so we need to hold control for this one. You get protection from black. Swing for 18. Was that a good line? Was that a good line? I think that was a pretty good line. Lost all faith after companions and tried to enjoy the game, but I no longer allow myself to believe that competitive magic is in focus. Yeah. Sad but true. Definitely want Gustos for the Euros. Annihil Spellbombs. Nerith is pretty bad when my opponent's main removal spells is gonna be Path. They could have the removal spell that they could have the removal spell that does the enchant the land on Thin Ice. On Thin Ice. They could have on Thin Ice. Jenny Grove can go. Something like this. I mean, honestly, Mana Leak seems kind of necessary. That's one too many lands. That is unfortunately one too many lands, I think. Wow, that's one too many basics, but I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna be sad about it. Keep plus sad. Watery Grave. I guess we kind of want to draw that. Probably gonna get Steam Vents here. Spell Queller. I'm okay, my opt gets quelled. Getting to the FC is just as stupid as getting into the few scars way until they fixed it. Yeah, it's not great. It's definitely not great. So we're gonna get quelled here. I guess we're gonna bold the Spell Queller. Thoughts is you, I said. Well, we're getting this Stoneforge here. Timely is interesting. Like, it doesn't seem very good when you're playing a Versus Paradise deck, right? You're never getting the counters, and I'm playing Dead Shadow, so it's gonna be tough for you to also get the... that's a sus Time Reinforcements. I'm not a fan. Not a fan. Okay, we do have perfect info here. Also, you're playing Uro. Timely is literally 3 mana, do nothing. Actual nothing. It's pretty hilarious. I'm just passing the turn here. I can't put lures in my hand because if my opponent draws a fetch, they can just play Udo and I need to mana leak it, right? Kinda have to find the threat here. It's not bad. Oh, whoops. I guess I'm gonna push that bird on end step. Hierarch seems like a better target for my fatal push. Just allows me to use my mana efficiently here, and it means that my opponent can't protect their dude. This is kind of great that we got to trade with this mana leak on my opponent's turn. It's very unfortunate. No more Queller for you. Pass the turn. I'm gonna have to mana leak that Uro. And then we can finally get a Sprite Dragon going. Gross. Yikes. Big X. It is a secretly opponent legendary Titan Shadow. No, it's not. My opponent's not that far away from recasting this Uro. Nihil Spellbomb would be great. Nihil Spellbomb? This is the turn we take off, folks. This is the turn we take off. We really have to dodge here. This Uro is looming over there. Remember when I said that we had to dodge one turn? That's not dodging. That is the opposite of dodging. That is not dodging. We need an answer to this Battle School, I think. So let's do this. Fatal Push. Thoughtseize actively helps my opponent because it feeds their Uro, so that's why I just let that go. The attack with both, I guess I'm trading 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I have to trade. Now I can Lurus plus play Sprite Dragon as a blocker. And we are past the point of playing around stuff. That's just not a luxury that we can afford. Dia187, thank you so much for the continued support. Welcome back to the Primetime Stronghold for 21 months? Wow. It's been a while, my friend. Appreciate it. So if they have literally anything, we just lose. But if they don't, so that they're gonna have an Uro now. Yeah. It's gonna be really tough to beat. What can we find? We really need to find a Nihil Spellbomb. Or for my opponent to whiff on that one turn where they just casually found the Battle Skull. Now they have 4 cards in hand. Nice, nice. They have Veil too? Fuck me. Alright. Do we need more pushes? Because pushes are just better than Dismember. Because Dismember doesn't kill Uro. Which is not, I mean, that's why I have Gusts. Like, it's not what I want to be doing, just pushing Uro, but if I have to, I can. Seems like a trap, but I'm gonna fall into the trap. It's opt first. Looking for a land. That's awful. Push that. Okay. Yeah. Let's go with Sprite Dragon. Mana Leak. It's fine. It feels like we would have had to trade with that eventually, so just trade with that now. It's okay. Fuck, man. This is just brutal. That's just gross. Yeah. That really sucks. That really sucks. They look so ugly with this new frame. They really look awfully ugly. I feel like Kaldheim has a less impact in more than the vast majority of sets, because every set before Kaldheim was absolutely broken by Oleg, and the power level has gone down considerably for Kaldheim, which I think is great, and it's exactly what had to happen, because otherwise we would just get into a position where power creep gets to a point where it's just not manageable anymore. So yes, I think it was just something that was done on purpose. But like the T-Bolt's Trickery deck is kind of taking over the format anyway. So like it isn't, but at the same time it kind of is, you know? I think it's a flavor of the month. Sure. I think it's more than that, but sure. This is just so bad for us. But we literally can't beat these snakes. Put the Veil on top, so we know that they're going to have a Veil. So we're just going to have to watch out for that. That they were missing land drops and they still chose to redraw the Veil, which I think is interesting. Does that mean I jump the lures? Let's go with this. If they have path, we get super blown out, right? But I don't think I can realistically play around stuff. Yeah, okay, that's it. Yeah, so I'm just trying to set up a situation where we can like get some value, but like this is just too much, right? Like I cannot break through the Ice Fangs. I know they have a veil, so my counter magic doesn't work. I know that I cannot attack them. I cannot put pressure on them, and I also know that now I'm not going to be able to have value. So I think that this is just too much, and that's why this is one of the miserable matchups, right? Like we also found that our draw was just horrendous. Like we drew both of our basics against the deck with Path to Exile and Field of Ruin. I guess that we didn't know the Field of Ruin, but yeah. It's just, you know, we just got Uro. It is what it is. I mean, Kenpachi also, Trickery is not expensive because it's from a set that is currently being drafted. If you look for literally any rare from any set that is currently being drafted, they are all cheap. The mythics are expensive. And the rares are always just cheap. Because they're being opened, so there's more in circulation. Oh, please not again. Please not again. It says that my opponent's playing Bant Stoneblade. Please not again. I paid my dues. I think I'm gonna keep this though. Now we have some removal, we have some disruption. If we find any land at all, we can do some serious damage. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Oh, hello. Let's take the Dryad. Is this 3-color blitz? No, it's My opponent says your kindness is only exceeded by your good looks. That's probably like the sexiest compliment anybody has ever given me. So with this bolt we can kill the Dryad. Oh shit. Land please. Excellent. Okay, things are working out here. So we're going to Watery Grave. Yes. Play a Sprite Dragon. Then we're going to attack this. Let's attack there first. Because if my opponent forces this, which they can, then yeah, so that's gold. So now we just Sprite Dragon their face and we attack here. And with the Dread Horde, we just get back our Inquisition. But if I did this during combat, my opponent forces my Lightning Bolt, and then I might not be able to clear this Ren, and I definitely need to clear this Ren. So cast the card. Yes, please and thank you. Inquisition looking good? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but we got to Inquisition both Dryads, which is obviously pretty solid. Okay. Bottom fetches main phase. Down to 13, getting a basic. Alright. Tap team draw. I think I'm gonna bold their face on end step. Wow, they naturally found the Valakut. Brutal. But this is now lethal. They do have Force of Negation though. They do have Force of Negation. Bolt you. Bolt you. Am I TBRing? No, right? I'm not supposed to TBR. So I guess we bolt on their end step. We could just get Lurus. Their hand is Cryptic Force Unknown. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna do that because I'm forcing my opponent to have double counter spell that way. They can like counter and they can counter bounce. They Force of Negation, that's fine. And now they just die on board, or they would need another force to answer the TPR. Okay, so Temur Titan. Temur Titan. Cut the pushes. Actually, my opponent's removal spell is bold. Mutagen Growth doesn't sound awful. TBR. Yeah, TBR sounds solid. Blessing is interesting. Guess I'd rather have Blessing than Mutagenic. Just got the Unearths all together. Maybe with the Mana Leak and the Gustos, we can just shave on one of these. Yeah, their out was to Cryptic, counter the Bolt, and bounce the guy, but then they would need to have another answer to the other guy. So they are still in a little bit of a pickle. This hand sounds pretty good. My opponent says I was hoping to rip a blue source to Uro. Uro is gross. Bubble myself. Yeah, this hand's great. Perfect hand. That perfect hand. Maybe the bolt is not great, but everything else in the hand looks very good. Okay, bubble myself. What do we see? Temur Battle Rage. Probably don't want that. Thought CCU. Aether Gust. Wait, so if we take the growth, I mean they can't cast the growth spiral. Just take the Dryads again. I mean, I guess technically we do have 2 copies of the card. Slide a hand. Find the land. Now that we drew the Dismember, we can get rid of the second Dryad fairly easily, which is nice. And then we're gonna play Shadow with gross. Gross. Yeah, my bonus hands is shaping up very nicely there. Good Steam Vents here. Aether Gust not looking great for them. But we might be able to erase this Field of the Dead, I think. If they just play a Dryad, I just let it resolve, I think. Because we can hold out the Mana Leak for the Udo. Oh, come on. Don't tell me. Oh, they're just gonna Gust. Which sounds fine. I mean, if they tap out, we do have lethal. Between this Bolt and this TBR. Well played from opponent, by the way. Very well played for them. They're trying to play towards Uro. Bold face. Okay. They don't have enough cards to make that strategy work. Lick it. Bolt your face. I guess there was actually no need for that, huh? Literally no need for that. Okay, that locks it up. Bold my face. Sounds good. 24, yeah. Alright, sweet. 3 and 2. This list felt a little bit less focused, but it felt like it had more staying power, which is interesting. So there is some ups and downs, right? Like obviously, Angler is a solid threat, number 1. Number 2, Street Wraith is actually kind of great. So instead of playing Street Wraith, we're playing kind of awkward cards like Apostle's Blessing and Mutagenic Growth. Particularly Mutagenic Growth seems super awkward. So that's one of the things. We're also playing more lands, which is also understandable and logical because we are playing like Lurrus, and Lurrus really needs a lot of lands to get going. but the color requirements are very, very different. So like this list is built with the same mana base as the other shadow lists, but the difference is this seems a lot more blue red. Like red seems a lot more important in this deck than it is in the other one. So even though like when we played the first league, we were always prioritizing getting 2 Watery Graves even before we worried about getting Steam Vents or Blood Crypt. And I don't think that the same play pattern applies to this list. It feels like this list is a lot more blue and red heavy. So I think that in this list specifically, you want to actually go turn 1 Watery Grave, turn 2 either Steam Vents or Blood Crypt, depending on how your hand shapes up. Other shadow run 17 lands plus 4 street wraith. Yeah, of course. Like we're playing lures here, obviously, so we can't play street wraith. That's the cost that we're incurring into. Which I'm not saying is bad. I'm not saying it's good. Like I'm just saying that it's just different, right? You're also playing a bad card like Sleight of Hand, and you kind of have to, because if you're playing Dreadhorde Arcanist, you basically need to make sure that this guy is always getting value. So that's why in the other list we were playing 4 pushes and 1 bolt, and in this list we're playing 4 bolts and 2 pushes because of what we just saw right there, where in the worst case scenario, bolt just goes face with Arcanist. And that's exactly how we won game 1 in that very last match. So we see that there are a bunch of deck building requirements that we have to kind of adapt our deck to. And I think that that's, it's just a different deck. Like it looks very, very close and it seems pretty similar, but in reality, the deck play out pretty differently. Also, this deck's capabilities to grind is nice, but like lures can be easily answered, and when they do, like this deck cannot race as quickly as the other one. So like with the normal Grixis Shadow, turn 3 or 4 kills are fairly easily because of Death Shadow plus TBR, and with Angler, when we played against Tron, we were able to set that up, for example. That's not the case with this list. You cannot really, I mean, you can, but it's going to be a lot more rare for you to be able to pull something like that off, because your deck is just not aimed at doing that as efficiently. Sprite Dragon was also kind of medium in the list. This didn't feel like a particularly great Sprite Dragon deck. The combination of Arcanist plus Dragon is great, don't get me wrong, but I feel like with Sprite Dragon you really want a lot of cantrips. So whenever I'm looking at a Sprite Dragon deck, for example, the Spike deck is what I would call a deck that is nicely built around Sprite Dragon. That deck plays like a bunch of cantrips. It also plays Archmage's Charm and stuff like that. So that is a lot more of a Sprite Dragon deck. Also, Stubborn Denial felt pretty bad in this list. I did not like Stubborn Denial at all. You basically only have 4 enablers. It was very, very tough for us to make sure that we can enable Stubborn Denial with Sprite Dragon, which might be one of the reasons why we're only playing 3 copies, right? That's very likely the reason why. But, still only playing 3 copies, if it's a bad card that it's only rarely good, you're probably just better off doing something else. So even though the first list was just nice, it's just a tried and true list, this one was a little bit more experimental. And yeah, I mean, those were the things that I liked and the things that I did not like. You probably want to be playing some number of Stubby Ds, but I feel like you kind of have to figure out another way of enabling it, because Sprite Dragon kind of doesn't do it reliably enough. So at that point, maybe you just don't want to be playing Stubborn Denial whatsoever at all, and you want to be playing something, I don't know, like Spell Pierce or whatever. But yeah. Oh yeah, the Fizzle. Yeah, that's you here. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense though, right? Like the first one is like a lean mean machine that was like tried and tested, and it was kind of like tinkered with for literally years before it arrived at its current iteration. So this one just needs to be tuned a little bit better. Again, going to things I liked, Arcanist looked good. Maybe this should just be a no Stubborn Denial and just, play 8 discard spells and more cantrips and just not play Sprite Dragons at all, or play like only 2 copies maybe. And then you just don't need to worry about putting Stubborn Denial online, and you just use discard spells instead. And you can have counter spells in the sideboard. I don't know. Like, those are like my early thoughts. Of course, we didn't draw the one of Mutagenic Growth, which is, nice little way of enabling Death Shadow. Also, Arcanist is nice with Mutagenic Growth. We get back Dismember or Possible Blessings or TBR, which is cute. But yeah, this list was cool though. We still went 3-2. We played some pretty good matches, but whoops. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it, and thank you the Fizzle again for the donos. This was fun. And you also inspired me to get the first 5-0 of the season, so that's sweet. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and if you enjoy the content, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.